Someone joined. Hello. Okay, so if you have any questions, good day to you also, madam. Che. Right. Pranam, sir. Jupiter in second house uh, as a marka and karka bhava nasha. Okay, so it depends upon the dignity of the planet. Jupiter in second house, which sign, that is important. Then we can say if it is Karak Nash Bhava or it is giving result as a Karak Nash Bhava or Marka or not. Okay. Dignity is important. Dignity decides. Okay. So if Jupiter is in good dignity, like in exaltation or own sign, moon trikon sign, friendly sign, then it shows that person will have difficult time, but he will come out of it. Yeah, and he will have benefit out of those difficulties eventually. But if it is in wrong dignity, then it is more difficult. Okay, so that is the thing. So dignity will be important. I am always thankful and excited for your teachings. Thank you, madam. Same here. Equally excited to share. Okay. Good morning. Yeah, you can get readings from the site astrosuccina.in. Okay, you will find this services option on astrosuccina.in, and you will find all the available consultations there. So you can apply through that link, astrosuccina.in. Any questions? No questions. Great. That means I'm free. In Gachkesri Yoga, the Jupiter Moon conjunction is most beneficial, or Jupiter Moon aspect are more beneficial because change of house is beneficial. Okay, sorry, exchange of houses is beneficial. Okay, so in any condition, conjunction has more power. Okay, understand. Two people sitting at one place has more intensity rather than two people just seeing each other from a distance. Okay, if someone else is sitting here with me, we will have more intensity going on, more energy exchange. But if someone is just looking at me from distance, then the energy exchange is less. Always try to understand planets as individuals, as persons. That will be like very helpful in understanding the planet. Okay. In Gachkesri Yoga also, like if Jupiter Moon are together in one house, it is more powerful than Jupiter Moon aspecting each other, or they are four houses away from each other. Okay, but most important thing is again in which sign it is placed. Like Gachkesri Yoga in Cancer is like very powerful, in Pisces powerful, in Leo powerful, in Taurus it is very powerful. So these signs become important because they decide the dignity or strength of the planet. If Gajkesari Yoga is happening in Capricorn, that is not that powerful because both the planets are losing the dignity. If Gajkesari Yoga is happening in Aquarius, then also it is not that powerful. Finally, Dasha should activate these planets. If person is not even going through the dasha of Jupiter or Moon, or the planet which is ruling Jupiter and Moon, then it is of very less use. The Mahadasha, I am saying, Antardashas will come for 1 or 2 years, it will give results, but Mahadasha should get activated. That's where like you can hope that okay, fine, for next 10 years or 15 years I will have good time. Okay, so that is important. How Gochar work to predict an event? I said recently in one session, how to predict an event, that Gochar is the last thing, transit is the last thing. First the chart should show the promise of the event. Okay, if you are looking for relationship, okay, so relationship should be a possibility in the chart itself. Chart should show the promise that a relationship is possible for this person. Then dasha should activate those houses. Okay, when then we can say okay, in this dasha the person can get into relationship. After that it becomes the case the transit should also impact the same houses or planets related with the relationship. Then we can say okay, fine, in this time period when this transit also takes place, this person can meet someone new. Okay, so then that is the thing. But as we can see, the transit is the last thing. First is your chart, yeah, then your dasha, and then comes the transit. Okay. Oh, I'm in Jupiter dasha, Jupiter antardasha. That's great. Jupiter is in 12th house conjunct Venus in Pisces. नहीं, पूर्वाषाढ़ा नक्षत्र. Okay, conjunct Venus in पूर्वाषाढ़ा नक्षत्र. Purvashada means it is in Sagittarius, Capricorn ascendant. I am concerned because this dasha I feel relaxed, calm, and just enjoying my private life. Okay, but I have a dream to release my music as I am a singer, and this requires more energy. I am trying to become more motivated and tap into my Mars energy, as my Mars is in first house. Anyway, I am looking forward to consulting you for private reading. for more details on my chart. You can contact anytime. As I said that now you are in Jupiter Dasha, Jupiter Venus in Purvashada, Venus ruled nakshatra. Okay, so just a second. So Jupiter Venus are together in Venus ruled nakshatra, also in 12th house of imagination and creativity and all. So this dasha can be very good for your creative pursuits also, but that is the challenge of Jupiter in a way that Jupiter is such a benefic planet. Person feels that most of the things are happening automatically, so he becomes kind of lazy. Plus it is the house of losses also, 12th house. 12th house is the house of losses, so the person is feels lost in his life path, or he feels it is also a house of escapism. Person escapes from the responsibilities of life. So that is also where this Jupiter dasha can be difficult. Okay, that person can become too lazy in Jupiter dasha. Things are happening automatically. Okay, things are happening without much effort, so the person can become very lazy in this time period. This is the challenge of Jupiter dasha, that you should not become too lazy. Okay, but otherwise also it is a good position, Jupiter Venus in 12th house. Understand 12th house is the natural house of Pisces sign. Pisces is also related with creativity, so this conjunction can help you in creative pursuits, but you need to get rid of this lazy attitude. Okay, and then it can give good results. How and when does Graha Parivartan come into effect? Should we take Dasha Bhukti or transit, or is there any other factor? Dashas are most common way of activating any planet. So if dasha is active of a planet which is causing a yoga, any yoga, not necessarily parivartan yoga, but any yoga, if dasha is activating, then then that yoga is active. Okay, transit wise, when two or three planets are transiting over one planet. Okay, like right now Capricorn sign is filled up. Okay, it is filled with it is filled with all the planets. 4 5 planets are there. So if someone has planets in Capricorn sign, that is also getting activated, because so many planets are transiting there. Okay, so this is also another way of a yoga getting activated or planet getting activated. But most commonly dashas activate a yoga or a planet. Saturn and Sun are at 7 degree conjunct in my chart, but in different houses. Are 7 degree conjunct in my chart. Saturn is Lagna Lord in 10th house, Sun in 11th. Is Saturn really combust in this situation? My Sun is also conjunct with Ketu in exact degree. Does this also affect the possible combustion of Saturn? I would say that it is combust, although they are in the different signs or different houses, but it is Sandhi conjunction. So it is they are impacting each other. And now you can see from your own life also. Okay, apply this conjunction in the kind of results you are getting in your life. Is that Sun represents father. If you have issues with father, then this conjunction is working. If you have issues with authority figures, then this conjunction is functioning. If you have very limited support from any authority figure, either at home or at work, then this conjunction is working for you. Do you use Abhijit Nakshatra when doing readings? I use wherever, whichever is useful. Means it depends upon the chart. Okay, I don't have any set parameter, but whenever I feel the need of using anything, I use. I use even Western astrology when I feel the need. My running dasha is Mercury 8th Lord Mahadasha and Antar dasha is Moon sitting in 8th house. Lagna is Vrashchik. Which type it gives result? I am 59-year-old. Mercury in Rohini and Moon in Ardra. Okay, so it's understand one thing in this dasha, your eighth house is getting completely activated. Completely activated means your eighth house is ruled by Mercury and Moon sits into eighth house. So Mercury Moon dasha means the eighth house is completely activated. Both the planets which are impacting your eighth house are active as per the dasha. This dasha can bring a major change in your life. This dasha bring a major change in your overall life, in your relationship matters also. Like Mercury is in the seventh house. Okay, then it can be like. A change in belief system can also come because ninth lord is going into the eighth house. Ninth house is belief, eighth house is change. So you may meet someone who may change your overall belief system. Okay, that is also a possibility. Plus inheritance is a possibility. You can get into inheritance and all. Plus take care of your health at least like while driving, traveling. It is a house of accident, so there is a possibility of accident or sudden event, so just be careful regarding that. Yes, and my Jupiter and Venus are receiving aspect from Lagna Lord in 10th house. So Saturn's third aspect is all about putting more efforts. So it shows that you need to put more efforts. 11th Lord in 12th house shows lot of expenses or money will stay after earning. It depends on which is that planet. Okay, it depends on what is that planet. So 11th lord in the 12th house can also say, show that okay, your income is going into losses. It also can show that your income is coming from foreign lands. It depends on the planet which is involved. If it is a benefic planet, then and in good dignity, then it may show that person is gaining out of foreign lands. But if a planet is in wrong dignity or a malefic planet, it shows that person is unable to save his money. 8th lord Venus in first house for Pisces ascendant. Okay, this person has lots of minor accidents as a youth, but will this be harmful during Venus dasha? I don't think so, as Venus is exalted in Pisces. Okay, just that he needs to be more aware. He needs to learn from his mistakes, and he needs to be more aware of whatever he is doing and all. Then he can deal with that those sudden events more with lesser troubles. Okay, fourth lord in the third house. What does this mean for mother? uh, this means that native feels that his relationship with mother is kind of loss. Okay, sense of loss is there, a feeling of loss is there in relationship with mother. Okay, it also feels someone is better staying away from mother or homeland or home. Means he should if he shifts into foreign lands and all, that is the best thing that can happen. Please share about current transit in Capricorn, second house Sagittarius, ascendant moon Jupiter dasha. I think I made a separate video on stellium in Capricorn. Okay, transit of stellium in Capricorn, you can check that video. I have covered all the all different signs and houses. Okay, So that is and that video will be more helpful for Sagittarius ascendant people. We can say that there can be lots of stress in the family and uh, wealth related matters, resources and all. Person can be very stressful. Plus all these planets are in the second house, which is eighth from the seventh. So the in relationship matters, if this person is in relationship or married, then in relationship matters he can feel lots of instabilities. Thank you. If Atmakaraka Venus is combust in 12th house, again dignity is important. In which sign it is in. Combust means, understand combust, meaning of combust. Combust means that the planet is very closer to sun. Okay, combust actually means, literally means burning off. So it shows that the significance of the planet which has come closer to sun, those significances are burnt off. So Venus represents relationship, Venus represents your conveniences, luxuries and all. uh, so a person may feel that okay, I am not getting enough wealth or enough benefits of my effort. Person can feel that I am like I'm not getting enough results of my relationship. There can be lots of ego conflicts in relationship. It is in 12th house of losses. So losses will be like the person will have a sense of loss in matters of Venus related things and sun related things. Whichever planet is in the 12th house, it is in the bucket of losses. Person has to put extra effort to make good use of to make some benefit out of those houses, otherwise it is in the bucket of loss. Okay, so he will have a sense of loss related with Venus and sun related things. Plus another thing is that sun is father, and if a planet is combust, it means that father was not there to guide the person in matters related with that planet which is combust. So if Venus is combust, Venus is relationship, so maybe father was not present in the person's life to guide him about the relationship matters. That is what it shows. It only means is that person needs to put his own effort and understand relationship in a better way so that he can handle by himself. Okay. uh, Planet is Saturn placed in 12th house. It is lord of 11th and 12th. What is your view on expenses and earnings? Saturn is difficult when it is in the 12th house, and it is also aspecting your second house of wealth. This shows that person needs to put an extra effort to make his money, to save his money. Okay, so that means the planet can be a kind of a spendthrift. Okay. um, at times means at times it can make someone very miser also. Okay. uh, what sources and teachers would you recommend for those who want to go deeper in learning Vedic astrology? I learned from many YouTube astrologers. Like I personally like Ernst Wilhelm best. I feel he is the best teacher. Ernst Wilhelm, ERNST. Wilhelm. I think his site name is Vault of Heavens. Okay, if you just search vaultofheavens.com, he is for me he is the best. Okay, but other teachers are also very good. Sam Japi is good. I learned a lot from Alisa Sharp. Okay, the divinevenus.com. She is also very good. This KRS channel, it is also very good. It is good for learning the basics. Okay. Then it is Ryan Kirkzek. I like. Okay, so Ryan Kirkzek I like. that person is also very good, Ryan Kubzik. And yeah, these are the main people I used to follow when I started learning astrology, and they are all are very nice, very good. Hi from South America, Guyana. Hi from South India, Hyderabad. I have a question. Yes, madam. How to judge the results of Mahadasha? For example, for Leo ascendant, Venus is not a favorable planet, but what if it is placed in in seventh in Rashi chart in Purvabhadra nakshatra? Okay, understand this basic thing. Every planet is good. Okay, your chart is made of three information, which I repeat always whenever this question of good and bad comes. Uh, like your chart is made of three information: your date of birth, time of birth, place of birth. God decided these things for you. God cannot decide anything wrong for you. Your chart is perfect for your life. My chart is perfect for my life. It only depends on how we are going to utilize that chart. Okay, this is the first thing. Okay, so no planet is not favorable for you. Every planet is favorable. Every planet is giving you a direction. Now, Leo ascendant, Venus rules your 10th house, Venus rules your 7th house, and Venus rules your 10th house, Venus rules your 3rd house, and Venus sits into the 7th house. 10th house is work, 3rd house is self efforts, 7th house is business. Get into your own business and you will get the best results of Venus. Okay, now coming to your question, how to judge the results of Mahadasha? Venus, it's first of all, Venus will give the result of its karaka. It can bring relationship, it can bring wealth and all, but the best wealth will come through third house and seventh house related matters. Means when you work for your own in the business setup, then you will gain the best wealth. Then Venus is uh, Venus is your creative pursuits. So your wealth can come through your creative pursuits. So then you will start getting the result of the houses Venus rules. That is 10th house and the third house. Then you will get the result of the house where Venus sits. That is 7th house. Then you will get the result of the nakshatras of Venus if a planet is sitting there. Then you will get the result of the you have Venus in Purvabhadra, its Lord Jupiter. Okay, and then the aspect, or if there is a conjunction. Okay, so these are the things which will impact your Venus result. As Venus is in Purvabhadra nakshatra, I think in Aquarius sign, Saturn ruled sign. So all these results will come after delay, hard work, and perseverance. How will be 2021 for Aquarius Lagna? Up to April. Okay, as all these planets are going towards going from your 12th house. Okay, you need to take care of your health, you need to take care of your money and all. You may feel lost in your life, you may feel that nothing is happening as per your wishes and my life is total mess and all that. Those type of depressive thoughts can come when so many planets are in your 12th house. Once these planets starts moving in other houses, and especially when Jupiter turns into your first house, you will have a new sense of hope, new sense of inspiration or motivation in your life. And Jupiter is aspecting your ninth and fifth, there is a possibility of job change or your work environment change. Jupiter and Saturn both will aspect your ninth house Libra, which again shows a kind of optimism coming into life, or you are going for your higher education, further education. That is seen from this Aquarius ascendant chart, but lot also depends upon the dasha you are running. Okay, thank you. I'm in moon mahadasha venus antardasha libra lagna. Moon is in Sagittarius third house, lagna with lagna lord. Okay, Moon Venus both are in Sagittarius, and Ketu and in Mula, Mercury in Purvashada. Okay, you have like stellium in the fourth house, third house, Sagittarius, facing problems in every aspect. Though I expected some relief in money matters, but it's getting worse. Now again, understand this third house, Sagittarius. All these planets are in the third house. Third house is of self effort. Sagittarius is of knowledge sharing, higher education, and all. First of all, with four planets in the third house, you are supposed to be in your own business. If you are not doing it, you will feel stressful in your work because you are not following your chart. You are not aligned with your chart's energy. Your chart is indicating towards self efforts. You are and you are trying to go into the job setup. There is a conflict between you and planets. You are trying to go here, your planets are trying to send you here. That's why maybe that's why you are facing this conflict. Okay, so this is the first thing. Then Moon Mahadasha, Venus Antardasha. So financially it should be good time period, because Venus Antardasha, Venus dashas always bring at least the wealth, but the best wealth for you is coming through third house, through Sagittarius. And when you share your knowledge with others, when you guide others, then you are going to get the best wealth. So this is what I feel. uh, how can you judge a spouse if Venus is in Sadbhishak, Jupiter is in Dhanishta, uh, Jupiter is in Dhanishta, and seventh lord Sun is sitting in Lagna with Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury. Okay. So first of all, my views on astrology and marriage. I think most people are aware with it. What I am going to tell you is not about a spouse. Is the kind of partner you may attract in your life. Okay, Venus is in Sadbhishak, or this person may attract in life. First of all, this person is Aquarius ascendant. Seventh lord is Sun. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Saturn, Sun are great enemies. Okay, so first is that they attract a partner who is kind of very egoistic. They can have lots of ego conflicts with their partner. Okay, that is the first thing. Then Venus is in Sadbhishak, Jupiter is in Dhanishta. Dhanishta nakshatra is the one of the nakshatra of marital conflicts. Okay, so that is also a possibility that you can have lots of conflicts, or this person can have lots of conflicts uh, in his relationship life. Seventh lord Sun is also there, ego conflicts again. uh, Only thing we can get here is that all these are teachers: Venus, Jupiter, Mercury. So he or she can be in any profession related with guiding and counseling people. Okay, that is the thing. Hello Sheetal madam, how are you? One last question. In Vedic astrology, it's said that wherever moon is placed in chart, if you try it, activate the significators of that house and sign and the Cancer placement in chart. If you cry, uh, type again. I think you misspelled something. Okay, if you try it, active the significators of and sign. If moon oh, okay, I don't think that crying has anything to do with moon. Or all I can say is that wherever moon is placed, okay, in whichever house or whichever sign, moon is your mind. Okay, if you get involved in the activities related with the house where moon is sitting and the sign where moon is sitting, you are going to find peace of mind, because moon is mind. Okay, like I have moon in the seventh house. I found peace of mind when I started this work of dealing with people, interacting with people through my site or through these sessions. So the more you get involved with the eighth house related things, like the example you have given, moon is placed in eighth house. So the more you research, more you deal with research oriented activities, more you spend your time in research, occult mysticism and all, the better your mind will find peace. Okay, so this is what moon is all about, where moon's placement shows where we are going to get our peace of mind. Ketu in sixth house, Virgo Lagna. What effects could this give during its dasha? Uh, Ketu in sixth house. Ketu represents unusual or rare things. Sixth house is your diseases, illness. It shows that person can have a very unusual or rare diseases which are difficult to diagnose. So it is always good idea to have second opinion. Second thing is that Rahu Ketu also represent alternate medication, so alternate medication can help this person whenever he is not well. Okay, this person cannot work in this like corporate world. Aquarius represents multinational organizations and Ketu represents separation. So this person is not meant to work in the corporate world. He should work for himself. Okay. Also, it shows that person if he is trying to work in the job setup, he may not have any clear idea what he is doing and where his career is going. Very good advice. Thank you. Very true regarding status of mental state of Aquarius Lagna. Thank you. Thank you. Fifth Lord Venus is in 12th house. Okay. With Jupiter receiving, I think you asked the same question again. You are asking Jupiter Venus are together and receiving. Don't ask repetitive question. It is because my answers will remain the same, right? It is not that I will change my answer. It is waste of time for everyone. I'm in Jupiter Dasha as discussed earlier. What does this mean for children and love? In matters of child and all, you will have a sense of loss, feeling of loss. Okay, although you may marry, you may have a relationship, you may have a child, but somehow you may feel a sense of loss. You may feel disconnected from your partner. You may have a child, but that child may be staying somewhere else, so you may have a feeling of loss there also. Okay, so these things are important. 12th house is always the house of losses. Okay, so and especially in the living significances matter, as I said, it is the bucket of loss. Whichever planet has gone into 12th house, people will always have a sense of loss in the results related with that planet. So Jupiter, Venus both are relationship oriented planet. In matters of relationship, you may always have a feeling of sense of loss. Not the actual loss, sense of loss. You are having it, but you are not feeling connected with it. Okay, you are having a partner, but you are not feeling connected with partner. Okay, so and that is the thing. Also, fifth lord going into the 12th house shows that after some time, when you have a child, after some time that child may shift to foreign lands, and you may have a feeling of sense of loss again. Okay. How is Venus in Shravana sitting with Mercury in Dhanishta? Venus in Shravana is a difficult placement due to the mythological story of Shravana. Okay, understand that Venus is Shukracharya. Okay, and Shravana, the story goes like of this King Bali, demon king Bali, and he was visited by Vaman avatar of Lord Vishnu. And Vaman avatar happened to ask him the land which he can cover in the 3 steps. And now Shukracharya, uh, Venus was guru of teacher of this King Bali. He said that don't make this promise, don't make this promise of giving land, okay, as he is asking. But his advice was not listened by King Bali. As Venus advice was not listened, he doesn't feel very good in Shravana nakshatra. Okay, so again, although it is in friendly sign, but in Shravana nakshatra it can bring relationship conflicts. Dhanishta is anyways the nakshatra of relationship conflicts, so relationship wise it is not a very good placement. But if someone is interested in someone is interested in these creative pursuits, okay, then they can pursue their creative pursuit. Venus and Mercury together. Venus is your creativity, Mercury is his skills. Venus Mercury together can make someone very skillful. So that is the a good possibility with Capricorn, Mercury and Venus. But Capricorn is the sign of organization. Okay, they have to be very organized in their creative pursuits. If they want to follow their creative interest, they have to be very organized and put their best effort with perseverance. Then only they can get the result. Venus Mercury together can also make them very good with financial nature of work, any kind of financial nature of work, and they can do very well, especially when Mercury is in Dhanishta nakshatra also. Okay, for Cancer ascendant, Jupiter in 7th house, Venus in 8th house. What is the effect on marital life or relationship? It is difficult. Jupiter is debilitated. This Venus is also in 8th house. So it is difficult position for relationship matters. Okay. A person may have lots of sense of frustration in their relationship matters, and that is the thing. Kind of I didn't receive what I wanted to receive in the relationship matters and all. Okay, so that will be a kind of result they will face. Then Jupiter and Venus in Shravana, Mithun Lagna, how married life will be. I can say relationship related matters. Jupiter and Venus in Shravana. As I said, like Jupiter and Venus both are in Capricorn sign. Jupiter is debilitated here. Venus is also in Saturn ruled sign. Uh, there will be a sense of frustration in the relationship, especially when they are in Shravana nakshatra, where, as I said, Venus doesn't feel too good because his advice was not taken by King Bali. So it is again a relationship of frustration. uh, what are the effect of Saturn and Ketu in the fourth for Leo ascendant person? Does the effect of Saturn reduce after the age of 36 in terms of hard work? Okay. This is like important question. I can explain in two ways. Okay. Saturn is limitations, and it is your frustration, very limited and restricted result. Ketu is separation. Understand, Saturn is limitation, Ketu is separation. None of them is a provider. Okay, so when Saturn Ketu are together in the fourth house, for any ascendant, it shows that person has very limited benefits from his homeland or his mother. Okay, this person should be staying away from his homeland, then only he can prosper. If he even tries to visit his homeland for few days, those few days can be very stressful. That is the first thing, and it will remain. Now this concept of 36, okay, like 35 or 36, it's not that Saturn gets matured after 35, we get matured after 35, we get matured in our 30s. Okay, Saturn is already matured, don't worry about it. So it is not, understand that we realize our limitations after certain age. After 30-35 we start realizing, okay, I can expect this thing in my life, I cannot expect that thing in my life. At least at that age we should realize our limitation. At least at that age we are supposed to behave in a matured way. Okay, so this is what it is all about. It is not that Saturn is relieving its effect, you are realizing the to live within that limitations. Okay, understand it through an example. Suppose there is a kid. Okay, there is a kid of about 10-12 years of age, and he is trying to climb a mountain. That is Saturn. Okay, for first few months he will have lots of difficulties, but once he climbs it, then he knows how to climb. Okay, so after that it is not that a mountain is coming down, but he just knows how to handle the mountain. Okay, likewise it is for Saturn. It is not that after 35 Saturn is relieving any of its effect, just that we know how to handle Saturn after 30 or 35. Sun and Moon being the conceptual building blocks of D9 chart, if they both are in together in 9000 D9 chart in the 8th sign Scorpio, what are the consequences? Please comment, sir, in your videos. Uh, right, so it is in any chart they are the building blocks, they are the building blocks of our life. Understand, sun is father, moon is mother. If there were no father and mother, we won't have come here. So first thing is that they are building blocks of our whole life, not only of D9. Okay, now if the sun and moon are in the ninth house in Scorpio in D9, that is an indication, because D9 is the chart of your right life path. Okay, D9 is the chart of your right life path. Ninth house becomes the most important house of your D9 chart, and in that house you have sun and moon both in a Scorpio sign. Scorpio is the sign of instability, occult, mysticism. Ninth house is the house of higher education and all. So it shows that person can be very much interested in any work related with guiding, counseling people in any research oriented subject. That will be his life path. That can be part of his life path. Okay. Retro Mars and Saturn mutual aspect. Who will win? Saturn will win, madam. Sir. Okay, Saturn will win anytime. No planet can do anything against Saturn. Mercury in Pisces, I have a problem conveying messages and asking people to do their work. Is there a practical way to deal with this? I find if I don't talk, I am better. If I talk, my message is not clear. We can improve in our communication only by communicating. You have to communicate, you have to communicate regularly, and more you communicate, more better you get with your communication. Like in my case, I have Mercury combust and like squeezed between Sun and Mars. Okay, two fiery planet. So in my initial life, I was just completely quiet. Not only initial life, I think I started speaking only in my 30s. Okay, before that I was completely quiet person, and now my whole work is about speaking. So you have to speak, you have to communicate. Okay, that's the only way by which you can improve in your communication. Okay, even if it is means debilitated, the more you speak, the better you will get. Please explain Saturn in Anuradha and Mars in Jeshta in 8th house, sorry, 10th house Scorpio. Saturn Anuradha Nakshatra is the nakshatra of following your heart's desire. Anu plus Radha. Anu means following, Radha means desire, following heart's desire. Saturn is ascendant lord here, 10th house Scorpio, Anuradha Nakshatra. In the matters of life path and career path, this person should follow heart's desire. Mars is in Jeshta Nakshatra. Jeshta is the nakshatra of your mystical knowledge. It is also the nakshatra of authority and recognition, as it is its symbol is like round talisman. It is closest to the mystical side of life. So occult and mysticism can be a big possibility for this person if he is interested into it, and that can bring authority. Or any research oriented career can be a big possibility for this person, and this person can get authority out of it. Never try to work under other people. Saturn Mars too strong malefic in Scorpio sign in 10th house. No work under authority figure can work. Okay. Very true that we mature after 35, not Saturn. Okay, thank you. Can a Marak planet's aspect destroy prosperity of a house where Yoga Karak planet is present? Again, it depends on what is that planet, what is the dignity of that planet. Okay, we cannot make like straight jacket formulas or like uh, generic rules in astrology. We have to take the planet, its nature, its dignity. Like for me Jupiter and Venus are Marak planets. Now these are the two most benefic planets. So even if they aspect somewhere, we cannot say that okay fine, everything is going to be destroyed. Okay, because they are naturally benefic planets. Okay, Jupiter is aspecting my third house of business and communication. Being a Marka, I cannot say that it is destroying my communication, it is destroying my business. Okay, so that's what I am trying to say, that the planet becomes important, its dignity becomes important, and its basic nature. Okay, that is important. Mars in Shravana Nakshatra, 4th house, are not aspected by any planet. Can gains be expected during Mars Mahadasha? Again, like Mars in Shravana Nakshatra in 4th house. Okay, by any planet. It can give good real estate properties to the person. Mars itself is real estate. Shravana is related with land, and this fourth house is also real estate. This person can have good real estate properties during Mars Dasha. Okay, I think we are done. Any further question, or we should close it down? Okay. And kindly do an article on science in houses. I think I have written and also made videos on different ascendants, and you will get this information on how a particular sign works for a house. Okay, like for a Leo ascendant, Libra falls into the third house, so they can be very balanced in their communication. This type of information you can get in those videos of ascendant, plus the articles I have written for ascendants. Okay, and that will give you an idea. How poisonous Wish Yoga is for Cancer ascendant. For any ascendant, it is poisonous. Okay, understand that Saturn and Moon, Wish Yoga forms when Saturn and Moon are together. Saturn is stress, Moon is mind. So, Saturn and Moon is Moon. The mind is always stressful. This person feels like emotionally malnourished. Okay, only way out is meditation. This person has to meditate regularly. Okay, meditation is like oxygen for them. If they meditate, then they can do well. Okay, otherwise they will have issues. If they meditate, then things will be fine. Please explain Ketu in the ninth house, Libra. Swati. Now understand, like Ketu is your separation, plus it is your past life expertise. Ninth house is your higher education knowledge and all. So like person can have very a kind of past life expertise and dealing with matters of higher education knowledge, guidance and counseling. That's why he doesn't feel like getting involved into those activities now. It is in Libra sign. Again, it is past life expertise in business. Ketu in ninth house can give good amount of knowledge in research oriented subjects. Okay, most importantly, Swati, if you just split this word into two parts, Swa plus Ati, it is extremely independent person. Okay, Ketu in Swati is like in your past life you might have worked, or you might have been a very independent person. This is your past life expertise, and by utilizing all these things, ninth house, Ketu, Libra and Swati, you can achieve your Rahu in the third house. So if you involve yourself in the matters related with higher education, guiding and counseling related business independently, then you can achieve your Rahu in the third house, Sagittarius. Okay, how to improve a debilitated planet? And debilitated Jupiter is like knowledge sharing. Okay, the more this person shares his knowledge, the more this person deals with the people through his guiding and counseling, then he can improve on this debilitated Jupiter. Okay, plus it is also of moral values. Jupiter also represents morals and all. So if this person keeps good moral values, good high moral values, so that is also a way by which he can expect better results of Jupiter. But all these things help in professional life, not in personal life. I am waiting for your book. I am also waiting, sir. Thank you. What are the planetary combinations of in a person that will cause suicide mentality? 12th house is the house of escapism. You are asking about mentality, right? Mentality is mind. Moon in 12th house, escapist mind. Okay, the person wants to escape from his situation. Okay. Right, I think we are done. Now we are done. Okay, next questions next week. Okay, uh, happy connecting and enjoy your Sunday. Bye.